losing the game on
purpose. Who gave that to
see what you did there.
You gave that to yourself?
Just trying. Let's just State Farm moment of the day.
Did you give that to him?
No. Hell no.
Well, let's go back to that game. I guess, look, Miami's still winless. Washington makes the change at head coach. Was that the difference in this ball game, or is it just a matter of, look, somebody had to win?
Somebody had to win. And then talent-wise, Washington's just a better team talent-wise. You knew when Adrian Peterson's in the game, they're just going to run the ball. They're just going to test the will of the Dolphins to see how badly they wanted it. But I got to give Washington, I got to give Terry McLaurin, their wide receiver, what an amazing young player.
Yep.
Watching the way he runs routes, great hands, really great. The defense stepped up today. 5 sacks, 2 interceptions. But this McLaurin kid, I mean, he's a lot of fun to watch, very hard to cover, and he's such a young player. You just hope that he continued to develop and his team continued to develop around him, because one thing I hate is when you have such a young, talented player who's stuck on a team that has no plan for the future. You don't like seeing that. You want to see these guys be on a team that's successful and win.
You know what? We talked in the pregame show like Miami and Washington shouldn't even be in the NFL. That's how bad we talk about it.
I didn't. Whoa.
Jimmy did.
Jimmy said
He's not here to defend himself.
But honestly, you know, maybe it is a head coach change. Maybe Allen. Maybe you do need to. You can't tell me.
No, I'm not saying they don't need to change a coach, but I don't think changing the coach and then winning this week against the Miami Dolphins proves that everything is okay.
If they were changing coaches and playing the New England Patriots, the outcome would probably be a little bit different. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, all right, look, Carolina, they went over to England. They've got a bye coming up, but they're riding a 4-game win streak, 4-0, without Cam Newton, the quarterback. And everybody's starting to wonder, and the course is becoming louder and louder.
Listen,
should they stay with Kyle Allen even if Cam Newton is healthy?
Well, we talked about it a couple of minutes ago. New Orleans and Carolina, since both quarterbacks have gone down, are what?
8-0 combined.
8-0.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question of what the situation is in New Orleans. When Drew Brees comes back, and for whatever reason, there seemed to be question in Carolina. I believe that if Cam is healthy, you've got to put Cam in the game.
Really? And what?
Yeah,
Dude,
I do.
tough one. I agree. I agree with that. But if you're talking about Carolina's head coach went after the 2 losses they had, and everybody's saying we got to replace the coach and so on and so forth, and then Kyle Allen comes in because Cam goes out and you win, that head coach has got to say, hey, you know, hats off to my little backup quarterback here who might be saving my job. I think it's a tough call for a quarterback that's in 30. I know.
You got to take the temperature of the team. You got to take the temperature of the team. I think a situation in New Orleans is different than it is in Carolina. I think the temperature of the team and the players would probably be different.
With the rhythm of a team.
What do you say?
You got to go with the rhythm. You got to
right now they are in rhythm.
For sure.
They've won 4 straight 4-0 with Kyle Allen.
I see what you did there.
Starting with you, Tony.
Okay.
Are you with us now?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
You?
We'll start it right here. Okay, get ready for this one. Teddy Bridgewater, the way he's come in and played, he's coming off that injury from last year. He's stepped in for Drew Brees, hasn't lost a game yet. I know he's on that 1-year deal, $7 million, but now I think if he continues what he's doing and Drew comes back or whatever happens now at the end of the year, what are you going to do now if you're Teddy Bridgewater? He can go out and get a big contract as far as I'm concerned.
They'll
Play
find
really well.
They'll want him to leave.
I think he could be the future after Drew. For me, it's about Houston, Deshaun Watson. Going to Kansas City, a team coming off of a loss, and a team desperate for a win, getting back on track, and to step up the way that he stepped up and the way that this team stepped up. I think Houston could be finding that consistency that we've been looking for from them.
Well, I go back to Minnesota. I think Minnesota has been one of the most talented teams, top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams. And the missing piece has been the quarterback and getting consistency out of that position. And if they get consistency out of that position, Detroit's a place that's given them issues at times down there. Detroit's a much better football team. That NFC North is wide open right now. Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago still in the mix. So that's a huge game next week.
And I would go off and say that Seattle going into Cleveland once again, getting behind a lot, and then coming back behind Russell Wilson just speaks volumes about what kind of job that Pete Carroll's doing in Seattle.
They win
Seattle,
close games.
I know it. And you know what? And that's what you want. You want to see your team put under the gun, no, that's not a good term, not a way to use it, but under fire, that's not a good one either. You want them being tough games.
Under pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Kind of like you right now.
That's not
Hey, it's a harvest
I'm
mood.
in a harvest mood.
The Seahawks are 5-1. 3 of those victories have been by the
I'll
1
see you
or
guys.
2 points. Hey, the Falcons find yet another way to lose. Arizona's now won 2 straight. Congratulations to them. But it's a heartbreaking one for the Falcons this time.
It's got to be because, Matt Ryan came out. He played really, really well. The offense was clicking. They were running the football. They were passing the football. But the defense did not show up today. They got no sacks, no interceptions. It was just little Murray was out there running around and it looked really, really well. But the Falcons right now, they got to go back to the drawing board because they still got some season left to turn this thing around. But they have so many talented players. Dan Quinn is going to start to feel a little bit of that hot seat.
Well, only the Miami Dolphins have given up more points per game than the Falcons have.